One of those stocks that is off a little bit more than the overall market. Intel shares down about 3.5% here. Taking a look at the broader semi-space, we see Intel is the laggard here among that group. Now, Brian Sozzi, you're getting set to talk to Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger in about an hour and 15 minutes or so here, as Gelsinger continues to sort of forge ahead with outlining what exactly his plan is going to be for the business here.
Yeah, and there still remains, I think, a lot of skepticism on the street regarding when will Intel start to turn around, when might see better results out of its data center business, faster growth from the company here. And you're seeing that reflect in the stock price. Intel's stock price year to date is only up 5.5%. You have the NASDAQ up close to about 14%, so lagging on a relative basis. But Intel coming out last night, putting out its product roadmap, really releasing 4 new key products over the next, about from this year to 2024, with the goal of being the leader again in terms of performance in its chips by 2025 here. But where it perhaps fell a little bit short here, and we'll ask Gelsinger about this when we talk to him around noon today, the margin structure. That was not included in this release. So as they start to release these new products, and should they expand into, potentially buying one of their own foundries, that was rumored with Global Foundries. Do they go out and spend $30 billion to buy this company to help make their own chips? What do the profit margins look like for this business?
So it sounds like as it starts to embark on this more emphasis on being a foundry, it's signing on Qualcomm as one of its potential customers. The company is going to release a new CPU, central processing unit for desktops, this year, one for servers next year. I mean,
this is good stuff.
It's good stuff, sure, if they can get them out on time, and if people, it seems like people are going to want to buy them. Chips are in high demand right now.
It's still going to be, as Intel ramps up its own innovation engine, and that's how they describe it on their release. Right. The competitive environment is not going to get any easier, and you'll get evidence of that this evening when AMD reports here. Intel reported last week their data center service group. Those sales were down, I close to believe, about 9%. It's in large part because of what AMD is doing. They've taken a lot of market share in that data center server space at the expense of an Intel and some missteps operating-wise at Intel pre-Gelsinger here. So AMD likely to have another strong report after the close today.
Yeah, well, there we go, upside down logo. I just want to kind of, talk about that capacity, and I'm sure you're going to ask Gelsinger about this, but in a Bloomberg story about, Intel's announcement from last night, right? So very nice basic outline here for chips. The smaller the number, the more technology, basically, the more innovation you've had. TSMC went from building 5 nanometer to 3 nanometer. Intel's building 10, they're moving to 7. Intel wants to call the 10 a 7 and call the 7 a 4 to say that they're actually keeping pace, but it seems, Sozzi, that that's kind of playing some games here with what is happening maybe at Intel's fabs? Yeah,
the naming has always been interesting in the chip space. AMD, not too long ago, they had a product called the Threadripper, which was always an interesting term to say, but that's just a lot of jargon here for the industry. It really boils down to, can Intel raise successfully its average selling prices on these new chips in an environment that is only going to get more competitive? And then number 2, how big a business could a foundry business be for Intel? They signed up Qualcomm, they signed up Amazon. Who else do they have in the pipeline? And how much could those contracts be worth to the company? And then secondarily, at what margin?
And AMD out with earnings tonight.
Yep.
Joining the party that, of course, we've already outlined.